Robert Martin, Chief Executive Officer, Tartoosh Environmental, LLC, American Indian-owned firm. Our mission is to rebuild sustainable tribal communities because we once had them, and because of the history of our tribes with the United States, we have struggled to maintain them. But this is a time, as it was announced yesterday here in Warm Springs, of renewal, and we claim that time, and we claim the right to be responsible for our ancestors and our children, and to rebuild our futures and become very strong.
So why, in your eyes, why do you feel it's important for energy development in America and tribes across the U.S.?
It's important for tribes to claim their position in the energy world and the renewable energy world. Number one, because we hold such a big stake in the whole arena. Tribes own 20% of the nation's hard energy assets. In addition, tribes have vast renewable resources. These things can be used to better each tribal community and contribute to its independence and its sovereignty. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here for our people.
Yeah. And what kind of opportunities lie in energy development in Indian country?
There are many. Geothermal, for example, is a significant opportunity on many reservations, but in Warm Springs in particular, because of the deep geothermal resources here. They exist in such a quantity to be able to provide 50 to 200 megawatts of power. And we see that power as going, frankly, not to coin a phrase, but right back to the people first, so that energy is freely available to all the people in the tribe. And then, at the tribe's discretion, it can be sold for also revenue back to the tribe, off reservation, to different customers.
So what was your reasoning for getting into this type of work as far as energy development and economic environmentalism?
Well, I have a bit of a national reputation in the environment. I served as National Ombudsman of the Environmental Protection Agency under 3 different presidents. And in that capacity, defended the environment and the health of American communities in general. I see getting back into this field, I used to represent Indian tribes before going into government, as being not only important for our sovereignty and our independence, but also for the environment as a whole. Because if we step up in our strength to seize our own assets and resources for our peoples, that's going to benefit the environment as a whole. Carbon emissions will be reduced as a result of Indian tribes stepping forward, and that's only a good thing for the country as a whole and for the world. And we will become leaders on the world stage.
So how many years have you been in this area, energy development?
Many years, 25, 30 years. At one time I ran the Council of Energy Resource Tribes Washington, D.C. office and represented the policy concerns of member tribes. So a long time.
Yeah, so briefly, like, how have you seen, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it evolve in numerous ways, you know, and up until this point, how do you see it evolving in the next 3 to 5 years?
I see tribes coming together in the next 3 to 5 years cooperatively. And this has not been done for some time, I'd say decades at least. And it'll be a powerful movement, because together we can do much by marshaling our resources and having a unified body.
Yeah. Yeah, what I've seen also is like some tribes have just the research into alternative energy and resources is could be quite a hefty cost on tribes. For instance, Warm Springs is a tribe that's invested in researching geothermal and actually have come up pretty short on that. There is geothermal here Like, I mean, just the cost of the research was so high, and then putting in the ability to retrieve that energy is just such a high cost.
Well, we have found ways to do the research at far less cost and far less time and access the resource more easily. And we look forward to sharing that with the Warm Springs tribes very soon.
Yeah.
And then the decision will be, of course, the tribal councils.
Yeah. So, like, I think conferences like this are really important to Indian country. Is there other conferences like this besides just in the Northwest throughout the entire U.S.?
It's beginning. The Tribal Finance Conference, which was held a month ago in Phoenix, is now shifting its emphasis to renewable energy in Indian country. So it's a trend that's just now starting, but it's starting very strongly.
Yeah. And even like as far as like energy consumption and reduction in consumption, there's a lot of education that could be passed out throughout Indian country. You know, is there ways that you've been able to help in that area? Because I mean, there's a lot of personal things that we could do in our own lives, you know, to reduce energy consumption. So, is there ways that you've been able to help in that?
Yes. In fact, one of our partners from Sweden is here right now with us, and they're meeting with the management of the resort to discuss what's known as ground source geothermal.
Yeah.
A pipe is put under the ground, and you use the natural heat and cooling of the earth to provide all the air conditioning and heat in the building. So over time, you know, about 5 to 10 years, you're completely independent. You can go off the grid. So yes, that would be a very good thing to happen, I believe.
Yeah. Is there anybody in particular that you have in mind that has overexceeded success in energy development throughout the U.S. or throughout Indian country? I mean, Confederate tribes, we do, our major project is hydro, you know, but we're looking into wind. But from my understanding, there's other tribes that have done other energy development.
Yeah, there are many tribes which have done hard energy development, coal and oil and uranium. And the environmental effects of that development have been, in some cases, very severe. We're bringing technologies to bear so that if they want to continue to do that, the environmental impact will be very diminished. Other tribes have moved forward in different renewable energy areas, such as wind. Blackfeet is doing wind, for example.
Just out of curiosity, the sovereignty within a lot of Indian tribes that seems to come up in the midst of considering tax credits, you know, and getting those from the state or from the feds. How have you guys been able to respond to issues like that? People bringing up sovereignty and saying that we shouldn't get tax credits from the state because it kind of impacts our sovereignty. Have you guys come up across anything like that?
Yes. Number one, we should not get lost in taxes. We are not taxable entities as Indian people, Indian tribes. And in the course of trying to get these kinds of projects going, some people have become lost and, oh, if we can't get a tax credit, we can't do it. And that's simply not true. There are different ways around that. The credits can be monetized with the assistance of an outside developer or party. Things can still happen. So one, don't get lost in it. Two, if you're going to get lost in it, don't cede any power to the states. Absolutely not. This is beginning to happen in with different tribes in different states. For example, the Rosebud Sioux are struggling now with South Dakota. South Dakota has decided to impose their taxes on the tribe, which really is totally illegal. And it's something we need to stay away from.
Is there any lasting note you'd like about energy development and where you see it going as far as Indian country?
Yes, this is exciting, and we need to keep doing this. We need to keep coming together and sharing our stories.
Yeah, certainly. Well, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate it.